In this video, we're going to be reviewing the comma rule where we set off non-essential or parenthetical phrases and clauses. The key word here is parenthetical. All right, that's going to represent basically this whole section. So what is a parenthetical phrase? It is a non-restrictive clause that can be omitted from a sentence, and that's what they mean by non-restrictive, without changing the meaning of the sentence. Essentially, it's non-essential information. Here, let's go into an example. Stephanie's decision was not in her best interest. What if I introduce this right in the middle? In my opinion. As you can see from originally, it was fine just by itself. When I added it in, I separated it out with two commas, one comma here and one comma here. So you can see that this definitely is non-essential. So this is an example of a parenthetical phrase. Here's another example. The New York Park, of course, is a popular tourist destination. So what I did here is I found the subject, which is right here, the new park, and I found the object, or part of the predicate here, and I'll just say predicate. Once I did that, I then tried to link these together without that bit in the middle. The new park is a popular tourist destination. If I can do that correctly, I know this part right here, of course, separated by two commas, is a parenthetical reference. Notice the commas in between. So that's what we're going to go through right now. The non-restrictive phrase, right, that's the key part, is right here. And as we showed earlier, it is separated by two commas. Okay, it doesn't have to just be commas. We can actually use parentheses, dashes. We don't need to have anything at all. It depends on the author. So the same punctuation must be used at the start and at the end of the parenthetical clause. So in the first one, Stephanie's decision, we're going to use commas. And just like we had before, we had our two commas separating out our non-essential or parenthetical clause. But again, we can use parentheses if we want to, such as this, parentheses in my opinion, or we can use dashes. Now on the ACT and SAT, they all mean the same thing. You'll never have to distinguish between one or the other. So let's go into an example. Here we are, one from an actual test. The oldest item at the auction, comma, an exquisite Taiwanese painting had over 40 bidders. Our job is to figure out where the correct punctuation should be to properly show where the parenthetical clause is. So step one is we want to find the essential elements. So on the left-hand side, I have my subject and plus my preposition. So here we go, the oldest item at the auction. All right, next one, we're going to find the predicate. So had over 40 bidders. So right here, had over 40 bidders. And so therefore, the stuff in the middle is most likely going to be non-essential. The exquisite Taiwanese painting. Okay, so once we've properly allocated our subject, predicate, and non-essential elements, we're going to want to separate with a comma. So we'll separate a comma here, and we'll separate a comma, separate with a comma here, and then we'll find the answer choice that has that. So if we went through all of these, we can see A doesn't do that properly, neither does B, because B puts the comma here, but we know the comma should be here, and C just takes it all out altogether. So that only leaves us with one answer choice, and that is answer choice D, an exquisite Taiwanese painting. Okay, so another way to reference these is to listen for a natural pause when finding the appropriate place for a parenthetical phrase. This usually gives you a hint. If I was going to read this, I would want to say the oldest item at the auction, an exquisite Taiwanese painting, had over 40 bidders. So let's recap what we went over. We're going to be using commas to separate non-essential or parenthetical phrases. Here's the example. This book, comma, as you know, is quite excellent. The subject, this book, and the predicates over here. We can link them together, and if we could do that without the part in the middle, we know we have a parenthetical reference in the middle. So parentheses or dashes are allowed as well. Here's the example. This book, as you know, is quite excellent. Now, we would probably not see it like that. I would say that parentheses are going to be used more for formal writing. So let's say a textbook or something of that nature may include parentheses to indicate information that may not be necessary to know. We usually wouldn't see it in a sentence like this, but it doesn't mean that it is incorrect. Or down below, this book, dash, as you know, dash is quite excellent. That would work as well. And again, another way to just validate it is to listen for a natural pause. That helps us indicate where commas should go. The 3 steps: find the essential elements, and then find the non-essential element in the middle. We'll put a comma in between the two. Look for the answer choice that has that, and that's where you're going to get the right answer. Thank you.